Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Wadash. And I want to say Shalom to Akhenakwat out there, pursuing this truth diligently, coming at you once again with another lesson. And this one's, coming with the inflammatory title of "We want to get the fuck up out of Babylon." Right? We want to get the fuck up out of Babylon. Right? For a multitude of reasons. And again, one of those topics that, came from just pondering and thinking all the shit that goes on here. Man, we just can't wait to get the fuck up out of here. We just can't wait to leave. All right, get out of here. Not have to deal with the shit of this world, these people. All right, the cultures, the customs, the lies. All right, every time you turn on the news, there's some type of bullshit and lie. All right, the people are lying. The people are, homosexuals or some type of wacko or sicko. All right, they talk about weird shit. All right, you go to job and you get treated like shit. Every single thing. The music here isn't even good anymore. All right, the food isn't here good anymore. We can't wait to get the fuck up out of this place. Right, this place is worn out. It's welcome, as they say. You worn out. You're welcome. Its bridges are burnt. It's worn out. It's welcome. All right, we can't wait to get the hell up out of here. And so I got I think 6 scriptures here. Right, it was originally going to be 4. Then I got another one. Then I ended up getting another one. So probably we'll see how long we end up going. Could go short, could go fast, depending on how long we spend really explaining it. But so we got these scriptures here. We're going to go into them. I got the Good News Translation opened as well for some of these things. I got, 2nd Esdras 14 and 14 through 18 up in the Bible Gateway. All right, so it's going to have the GNT there. But unfortunately, with the Apocrypha, the only other translation would be the GNT. Okay, because I believe it's a Catholic. The GNT, I think it's a Catholic thing. And the Catholics used to use the Apocrypha. A lot of others don't. Okay, so without any further ado, all right, we're going to get right into it. We're going to start out with 2nd Esdras 14 and 14 through 18. Okay, now what we could really do, it would open. All right, we can, go and get the opening real quick with 2nd Esdras chapter 14. And it talks about what was happening here, right? In the verse 1, it says, "And it came to pass upon the 3rd day, I sat under an oak, and behold, there came a voice out of a bush over against me, and said, Esdras, Esdras." So this is Esdras speaking, of course, in 2nd Esdras. All right, and he's having some, towards the, the latter end of the verses. Well, I went too far. He's, having some, some thoughts, all right, that we're going to read. So, we're starting from 14. These are some of the ones he was speaking on. Actually, let me go and double check. Was this Esdras or was this, let me see. This might have been the Lord speaking. Let me go and get that. We'll just start from verse 1, right? Or verse 2, because we already read verse 1. In verse 2 it says, "And I said, Here am I, Lord, and I stood upon my feet. Then said he unto me in the bush, I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses, and talked with him when my people served in Egypt. And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt, and brought him up to the mount where I held him by me a long season, and told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times, and commanded him, saying, These are the words thou shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide. And now I say unto thee, that thou lay up in thy heart the signs that I have showed, and the dreams that thou hast seen." Because he was showed dreams in 2nd Esdras 11, it might have been. It says, "And the interpretations which thou hast heard. For thou shalt be taken away from all, and from henceforth thou shalt remain with my son, and with such as be like thee unto the times be ended," right, until the end. It says, "For the world hath lost his youth, and the times begin to wax old." It says, "For the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10 parts of it are gone already, and half of a 10th part. and there remaineth that which is after half of the 10th part. We're getting close to what the point we're getting into today. It says, now therefore set thy house in order, and reprove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Let go. So here we go. So this was the Lord speaking. All right. So I had to double check. All right. So this wasn't Esdras, but this was the Lord. Slakia. That's why you have to get the context sometimes. In 14 it says, let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee these times. So this is a good one right here. Let's go and get 15 in the GNT, and it says, as for the evils that you have seen happen, people will yet do worse than these. And this is, remember, this is at the time in Esdras' time. So things have gotten worse since then. All right, and things are going to get worse than what we're seeing now. All right, things, as the world ages, all right, things are getting worse. All right, as time is prolonged, things get worse. In verse 16 it says, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. And it says, for look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. For the time is fled far away, and leasing is hard at hand. For now hasten the vision to come which thou hast seen. And he's had, Second Esdras had a variety of different visions, and you can go look up what in the Apocrypha. He had a vision of the eagle, right? And the Apocrypha, what are some of the visions that Esdras had? Yeah, visions of the eagle, vision of the man from the sea, vision of the son of Yahweh in the multitude, several different visions. All right, he had several different visions. So, and the eagle being, really in reference to, in a multitude of way, that Roman Empire, really. All right, a Roman-like empire, all right, that is still present today, even though the fall of Rome already happened. Well, yeah, but the Romans are still around, and they still have their little Roman empire, all right? That's how they work. So, yeah, man, that's and there's a couple heavy hitters in here. Bear with me. Where was it? It's all great, but I mean, if I had to choose one, 15 is great. It says, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. So how do you flee from these times? We can just get up and go? No. We can just get up and walk away? No. We can move? No. So hasting to flee from these times is hasting, where if you look up the word hasten, all right, be quick, all right, or hurry. If you're to hasten, to flee from these times, you're quick to want to get the fuck out of this place. All right, you're quick to want to have this world pass away and be ready for the next one coming, as we're gonna get in just a moment. So we can't, and that's how we are. We can't wait to get the fuck up out of Babylon. Like I said, the food's fucked up. All right, the food, you eat the food, and half the time the food's not even good. The water, you drink a whole bunch of water, and you don't even feel like your thirst has been quenched. I don't know if any of you brothers have had that, but I've talked to at least one other guy. He was the one actually brought it to my attention. He says, a lot of this water, man, don't even hydrate you. You be drinking a whole bunch of water, and you still feel thirsty. And it was a Jake guy I was talking to, Wicked Jake. I've talked about him a couple times in my lessons. He's a cool guy, but he's wicked, right? He's wicked. He's cool to talk to, but the Lord's gonna kill his ass, all right, from his wickedness. But and I thought about it. I said, yeah, man, you be drinking a whole bunch of fucking water, and you don't never feel hydrated. So, the only way you really feel hydrated now is if you have to put shit into your water. You have to put electrolytes into your water, right? Because they've removed all the minerals. They removed everything from it, and even 20 years ago, the water was hydrating. Like shit. I mean, it makes you wonder how much more hydrating the water was 40 years ago. Right? I wasn't around 40 years ago, but I wonder if the water was even more hydrating than it was 20 years ago. I wouldn't be surprised, right? So, you know, the water's all fucked up, right? Everything's fucked up. The air's fucked up. The water's fucked up. You go to take a shower and it dries your fucking skin out. You got to moisturize like a motherfucker because it dries your skin out, right? You go to get a fruit and it doesn't taste sweet like they used to taste anymore. You go to listen to some music and it's got some fucking homosexual ass lyrics in it. So you turn on the TV and you start seeing some weird fucking feminist or homosexual like agenda being pushed. So you turn that off and go and play a video game. And in the video game, they're making fun of the prophets, right? So, you know, if you're wondering what that's in reference to, you know, Cyberpunk. All right, you can go and look up Cyberpunk 2077, and I played the game, but I don't like that part. All right, you know, Gary the Prophet, right? And look what type of garment. Look. You know, I'm not gonna even do that. I'll show you. You want to see what they're wearing? Here. There you go. See what the brothers are wearing? Let's see. I think they back up a little bit. There you go. You know, what do you? This is what they're referencing to, and they try to make him look like a fool. All right? They try to make him look like a fool. Okay? So, if you can't see that they're trying to obviously make this guy look, all right, like he's in a Hebrew Israelite garment, okay, then you must be a fool, okay, because that's what was going on here. All right, and you actually end up flipping the guy off. Let's see, Gary, if you go, let's go and look it up. Gary Prophet, right? And you can go and see, watch, see if we can play a little bit.
They say a broken some point fall.
Oh my gosh, shut up. Try to see. Let me try to see.
Hello, Internet.
I think about it like a mistake.
I don't want to take.
There's a part in it. I can't necessarily find it. Let's see. I wanted to show it. Let's see. All right, let's see. This
Yeah.
you gotta have to be talking about it. But look, standing on the highways, just like the brothers would.
Do you truly believe that those who have sold you your mechanical eyes have resisted the temptation to peek through them? Cameras are all around us, even within us. Your joys, your worries, your life. For them, it is all mere spectacle.
So just like gouge out my implants and go blind?
Let's just say you're right. So what? Should I just gouge out my optics? Thanks, but no thanks.
You are beyond salvation, but not the children of the future. Life untainted by surgery of the sacrilege.
Gary
We
the
can
Prophet?
yet save them. May the mothers shield their bodies. May the fathers instill their hatred for Crow. But who are those who follow our every step, you ask? Why the titans of entertainment in Alpha Centauri?
Man, I sound crazy.
In their wretchedness, they placate their weary and oppressed masses by putting our laughter, our tears, on full display.
So you get it, right? It's a characterization of the Hebrew Israelites, right? So I wanted to show that in case brothers haven't seen it, because I know not everyone's played it. But yeah, man, it's you go to turn on a video game and they're making fun of the prophets. So you go and listen to some music and you can't do that. You go to read a book and it's got some stupid ass ideology in it, and you're like, well, shit, man, fuck, can't even do nothing right without having some dumbass shit in it. So literally. It's literally there's no way to get away from it, all right, other than getting the fuck up out of this place, right? So yeah, man, we're vexed, all right, with this place, all right. Let's go and look up the word vex, all right, V-E-X, vex, all right, it means to annoy, worry, or cause difficulty, all right. Vexed meaning, all right, to be annoyed, frustrated, or troubled, all right. as an annoyed, all right, in an annoyed and troubled state, like not a vexation of the spirit, okay? Your spirit is annoyed with this place, right? You just want to get the fuck up out of here. And that's how you should be, but the thing is we got to wait, all right? Segueing into Revelation 2 and 25. We got to wait, all right? We have to. Revelation 2 and 25 reads, this is red letter Yahushua speaking. It says, "But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come." So what does it mean to hold fast? All right, it means basically go through the hard times and hold on tight. All right, hold fast. All right, just have patience. Essentially, is what it really means. All right, meaning, actually, what's really good is right here. It says, a hold fast is a nautical term for firmly gripping someone. Okay, it serves as a metaphor to stay firm and true to principles or persevere through difficult times. Okay. It says to remain tightly secured. Okay. So yeah, man. It's I like the little AI overview that it did, right? So to ride out the storm or stick with something despite the challenges. All right, we just gotta hold out on these challenges. Because sometimes some days it's worse than the others. Some days we're not too vexed. I mean we that's this fucking place, whatever. Other days you go through shit like, God damn, I fucking hate this place, man. I can't wait to get the fuck up out of this goddamn place. Right? And we just can't wait to get the fuck up out of this place. We want to get the fuck up out of Babylon. All right, think about it. We don't even know what a good piece of fruit. Even 60 years ago, you thought it was a good fruit. Well, you don't really know it was better than what you had now. But we don't even really know what good fruit tastes like because we've never had it. Not even people that are 100 years old, right? Maybe 700 years ago, you might have been able to taste maybe what an actual piece of good fruit tasted like before all the pesticides and the chemicals and the sprays and the things in the soil and the GMO and how they made everything and manufactured things. We're not going to have even certain foods that we're eating now in the kingdom. We ain't going to have no broccoli in the kingdom. All right. Every time I eat TMI, every time I eat broccoli, I got to go to the goddamn bathroom. Broccoli is man-made. Okay. I bet you didn't know that. Broccoli is man-made, okay? It says, yes, broccoli is considered a man-made vegetable because it was developed over centuries through selective breeding of a wild mustard plant. It came from a wild mustard plant. Broccoli doesn't even exist. We're not going to have no broccoli in the kingdom, all right? Because broccoli's not even a fucking thing that should even be existing, okay? You can go and look how this is what it came from, right? And they kept on, making shit from it. This is what it looked like originally. All right, Brassica oleoraceae, or however you pronounce that. It was bred out of wild cabbage as well as other vegetables below. So you had kohlrabi, kale, broccoli, all right, which it came from broccoli, and then cabbage and cauliflower. Cauliflower ain't real either. All right, cauliflower, just like broccoli, is man-made. All right, you can go and look up man-made vegetables. All right, vegetable list, and we can go and check it out. Examples include corn, tomatoes, eggplants, cauliflower, broccoli, and carrots. Guess what? You can't digest corn. They say that shit stays in your poop, right? So, you can't digest that. Tomatoes, all right, eggplants, cauliflower. Corn evolved from wild teosinte through thousands of years of collective breeding, all right? Fucking with shit. So, this is, I guess, what it originally looked like, all right? Teosinte, all right? So that was the original type of corn, okay? The original type. Now, the corn we have now is something completely different, all right? This is ancient corn maize. That's what it looked like. See it? Now it doesn't even look the same, all right? Here was teosinte, one little thing. Now look what it's got into, all right? So it ain't supposed to be like that. Strawberries ain't supposed to be. Tomatoes developed by humans to have longer shelf life and deny ripening. Eggplants, selective breeding. So a lot of these things we aren't even going to have in the kingdom, all right? That's why certain of those things aren't even mentioned in the Bible, because they didn't exist, right? So eggplant, we ain't going to have no eggplant. Look, that's what it looked like in the wild, all right? Well, I guess, we could have eggplant, but it'd be like this. But now it ain't going to look like that, all right? Eggplant ain't ever even supposed to look like that, okay? So there you go. It all came from wild mustard. Kale is when they enlarged the leaves. Kohlrabi is enhancement of the lateral meristems. Cauliflower is when they sterilize the flowers. Broccoli is when they suppress the flower development, and cabbage is suppression of the intermode link. So I guess cabbage isn't even real. All right, we ain't even really supposed to even have cabbage. All right, it all comes from wild mustard. Okay, so you know, none of the food we eat is real. Even the vegetables. You think carrots are like, you know, corn is real or broccoli's real. It ain't even real. All right, it's genetic. It's basically maybe not genetically modified, but I mean, really, they are messing with the genes. It might not be, you know, chemically genetically modified, but they're still messing with the genes by, you know, selective breeding. Okay, they're fucking with shit like Esau loves to do. Okay. So, and it might not have been necessarily Esau that fucked with shit, but regardless, shit was fucked with, alright? And now, your ass can't even digest corn, okay? It just passed right through me, I can't eat it. Well, yeah, it's because, and broccoli, it's not, you know, your body ain't gonna be handling broccoli like that because it's not in its natural state, okay? Everybody talks about, oh, broccoli gives me the farts, or broccoli does that. Yeah, because you're probably not supposed to be eating it. If you're farting like that, it's because something in your body is created excess gas. All right, and if your body is expelling gas, okay, too much gas, then you're gonna have too much. It's gonna make you it's gonna cramp your stomach and hurt your stomach. Look, food shouldn't be doing that to you, right? Food shouldn't be doing all that shit, right? So 2 Peter 3:13, it says, "Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness." Yes, primarily righteousness, because there's no righteousness in the society. Okay. We're also on top of looking for righteousness, and that's the primary thing, because once righteousness comes, all the other problems are going to be, you know, taken out as well. But we want righteousness, we want good food, all right, we want better health, all right, we want the fuck out of this place. There's nothing here for us, all right. The air here is poisonous, it's toxic, all right. As soon as you're born, you're dying. All right, the food that you eat is inflammatory. All right, everything's either extremely glycemic and causes omega-6 to come off, causing inflammation. You get back pain, neck pain, stomach pain. Right? You go to take a shit and you're on the toilet for entirely too long than you should be taking. All right, you get stomach cramps. All right, if you eat something, they don't wash it too well, or you know, you did something, or how not, you forgot to give it an especially good washing or something like that. You missed one spot on it. All right, now you got food poisoning, or you know, you're eating it and you don't even know that even if you washed it, certain of those are permanent chemicals that stay in after from the fucking pesticides. Look, man, this place sucks, man. There's nothing here worth staying for. Like I've said, you know, video games and football is not a reason to stay around. All right, to want to hold back, be like, no, I'm not ready to go. I'm not ready to go to the kingdom. We got Jordans and Xbox and football here. Fuck all that shit, man. Jordans are cool and all for now. All right, I mean, I don't even like wearing them. I have one pair of Jordans, man, and I hardly wear them because they hurt the fuck out of my feet, because the toe box on those motherfuckers is so goddamn tight. Right? I have a pair of Yeezys. Yeezys are more comfortable, right? But fuck, man, like, you know, like what's the point? You know, I'm not going to stay around for a fucking pair of shoes. All right, that's stupid. I'm damn sure not going to stay around for no TV show or a video game, right? Sure, the video games are good. We might like them, have our favorites, but it's not a reason to stay around in a society where we're sick and getting worked like dogs, right? That's not no reason to stay around. Well, I'm gonna allow my boss to treat me like shit, and everyone's gonna have issues with me, and I'm not gonna be able to barely afford groceries, but I get to watch the Chiefs maybe go to the Super Bowl. Fuck that, man. Hell no. It don't matter. All right. It ain't worth that. Right? It's a pastime for a reason. It passes time, and we're only passing time to get somewhere else. And where is that? The kingdom. Okay. They're pastimes. They're occupations. Keeps you occupied. All right. While we're here. But it'd be much better to not be here in the first place. Then we wouldn't have to be occupied by those things or entertained by those things, because we'd be in a much better state where we could be occupied by, I don't know, rejoicing together, talking together, rebuilding, all right, and probably other events. I'm sure we'll have some type of sports. I'm sure we'll have some type of electronic device that is, I mean, you got to think about it. You think, oh, well, we're not going to go back to the Stone Ages, man. All right, yeah, we could, for all we know, we could have some type of video game-like device. It ain't gonna be an Xbox or Nintendo, but we could have a video game-like device for we know. You know, Esau, you know, has never been able to create something that actually looks, you know, real. First of all, if in the kingdom, if we wanted to, you know, do something like fly around the moon, we could just fly around the moon. But we don't know if we're gonna have some type of television-like device or video game-like device. I'm sure we'll have sports. Jake loves sports, so I'm sure we'll have some form of sport, right? I'm sure we'll have some form of like video game-like entertainment or television-like entertainment on some capacity, because it's going to be a highly technological kingdom. All right, people think you're going to be sitting on the dust, sitting in the dust, you know, twiddling your thumbs, going, "Oh man, there's nothing to do. I guess I better build my hut." No, man. Highly technical. Look at the chariots, man. All right, we don't know exactly what it's going to be. All right, we know it's going to be something. You know how Esau depicts a future. It's going to be beyond that. All right, beyond that. All right, beyond the Jetsons and shit. Right. So, you know, we just don't know in what capacity that it's, you know, gonna be there, right? We have no idea, right? So, and that scripture that I just referenced, all right, 2 Peter 3:13 is really referring to Isaiah 65:17, where the Lord said, "For behold," it says, "For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind." And that shows you how powerful the new kingdom is going to be, because we're not going to even remember this shit. It's not even be remembered or come to mind. All right, remember that? Nah, fuck that, man. We ain't going to be even remembering this place. All right, it's not going to even be. It's not going to be worthy of remembering. Okay. Hey, man, remember when we were getting our asses beat and everything was bad and shitty? You know, if you even tried to bring up something, man, just don't even talk about that, man. Ugh, that place was terrible, right? And more than likely, we're not going to remember it, right? We'll know if something happened, but, you know, in order for us to be at pure happiness, we can't, you know, really remember what fully went down. We're going to know if something went down, all right, and we'll be able to recall certain things about, you know, but we're not going to be, well, I'm sure in some capacity, but we're not going to be teaching, all right? We're not going to be on the highways and byways in the kingdom. We're not going to be, you know, going around and preaching like that, because, you know, it's going to be written within us. Well, I mean, we'll have to teach and instruct the heathen, all right, to, hey, this is how you're supposed to do this. But we're not, you know, we're not going to be teaching each other. Like, hey, brother, you know, did you know you're not supposed to do that? You're not going to have to say that, because they're not going to be doing something that they shouldn't be doing, and they'd already know what we can and can't do. Right? You're never going to have to say, "Hey, man, do you know that you can't eat pork?" Of course they know, and they won't have pork. There ain't going to be no pork in the kingdom. I don't know where the pigs are going to be. All right, probably just living their life. All right, being a pig. All right, pigs are cool. All right, but you know, hell, maybe I perhaps might even own one if I'm allowed. Right? I think pigs are kind of cute. They're cute little things, dorky little guys. But hey, man, you know, you say you can't own a pig, or what? You gonna pet a pig? A pig's an unclean animal. You can't eat it. Yeah, I can't eat a dog either, but I can pet a dog. Okay, Jeremiah had dogs. Okay, I can't eat a cat either, but I can pet a cat. All right, don't you have a pig in your house? You have a dog in your house, all right? So, well, I never said I was gonna make. I don't even know if we're gonna be having animals in our homes like that. All right, we don't know if that's a thing that we did or not. Animals usually probably prefer to stay outside mostly, right? So, but yeah, man, we'll be owning animals and stuff. We'll have lots of stuff to do. All right, lots of stuff to do, and we won't be glued to a fucking phone, fucking up our brain and serotonin and dopamine receptors. All right, just shot. All right, you know, have a low attention span and all this shit. All right, human communication is gonna come back. All right, talking to people, hanging out. All right, going to events. I'm sure we're gonna, you know, Jake loves to have events. All right, so I'm sure we're gonna have some type of events and, you know, different things. You know, certain different festivals, maybe even in some capacity. You know, wine group wine tastings, or, you know, things like that. We don't know how it's gonna be necessarily, but you can only imagine, right? But if we were ever to have an event like that, it's going to be, you know, in honor of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, not dedicated to any other, you know, Lord. We're going to be gathering there, you know, in glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and say, hey, you know, call all Yahweh Shem Yahushai. We had a great harvest. You know, these, you know, got to give all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, of course, you know, for the excellent, you know, rain that had. We were able to get these grapes. All right, and you know, this so-and-so wine. All right, it's brewed with strawberries and grapes, and you know, we don't know, and blueberries, and you know, for all we don't know. I'm just, you know, speculation, right? And you know, that people would love something like, you'd love doing that now, right? That would be an event that you'd like to go to, all right, or just hangouts, right, and say, oh, we're gonna go over here, and we don't know, but it's not gonna be boring, all right, it's not gonna be boring, okay. So 2 Ezra 7:16, it says, why hast thou not considered in thy mind this thing that is to come, rather than that which is present? So, why don't you consider the things that are to come instead of, that's what's in the present? We think about, I wonder what the fruit really tastes like. I wonder, how it's going to feel like to not be tired like that, and always, be feeling, rested and not groggy, and have a good health in the body, and, not have to deal with, this oppression and being worked to death, and that's the types of things, right? So, sometimes you think about the things in the present, but you also got to think about the things that are to come, and not only just the things in the kingdom, but the judgment that's going to come upon this place. There's a lot of things to ponder and think about, right? How things are going to be in Jacob's trouble, right? And how people are going to be behaving, and a lot of different things to think about, right? Not just the present, but the things in the future, all right? The things to come. So yeah, man, and we're waiting to get the hell out of this place. We hate this place. We want to get the fuck out of Babylon, because there's nothing here for us. All right, the only thing that really Babylon can grant you, and it really can't even grant you that, because that's still the Lord, is it's a destruction. All right, that's the only thing. That's the only thing that this place has for you. All right, is destruction. So bear with me. The Bible app didn't want to act right. So, come on, man. Did their website crash or something? They won't even load the website. All right, well, Bible.com. Yeah, their website's not working. So this is the KJV. I'd like them to be individual. You know what? Bear with me. Here we go. So Psalms 130, Psalms 130 and 5 through 6. It reads in verse 5, I wait for the Lord, my soul doth wait, and in his word do I hope. My soul waiteth for the Lord more than they that watch for the morning. I say more than they that watch for the morning. So we want to get out of this place. We wait, we hope, all right, we pray, and, we prophesy the downfall of this place, man. And because we're ready to get the fuck up out of Babylon. So let's get the same scripture in the Good News Translation. It says, I wait eagerly for the Lord's help, and in his word I trust. I wait for the Lord more eagerly than the centuries wait for the dawn, than centuries wait for the dawn. All right, so we can't wait. We want to get the fuck up out of Babylon. We can't wait to get the fuck up out of Babylon. I mean, we can wait, but, it's a figure of speech. But we don't want this, these days to be, prolonged. All right, we don't want, to go longer than it should. We don't want to stay around. We're ready. We're just waiting for those chariots to come. Lord willing, we have our boarding passes through Yahweh Shem Yahushai. We can get on and go. Okay, and while the kingdom's, waiting to be established, we're gonna have basically a kingdom inside the chariot. All right, that's basically gonna be like a whole world essentially, and man, we can't wait. All right, we cannot wait. All right, it's gonna be like a weight off our back. Ooh, man, I'm glad I got out of there. Right? So, yeah, man, we can't even really fathom it. And we just hope to make it out in one piece, and and through salvation through Yahweh Shem Yahushai. But this place sucks, man. This place sucks. Can't even get nothing good here. So, that's pretty much the lesson. Pretty much touched on everything. Wanted to touch on how long we ended up going for. 34 minutes, right? So, yeah, camera messed up, but you can still get the audio. But sorry for that. But yeah, man. So, yeah, man, we can't wait to get up out of here. Lord willing, it soon. We got a lesson. I haven't watched it, but it's from Apostle Tahar. He said, I see big things happening in 2026, I think is what it was titled. I'll go and try to find it now. You should be able to see now with the video fixed. But, What was it titled? Where was it? Right here. I see big things happening in 2026. And then this video, probably something in the same line. It says, they say 2030, I say sooner. Hopefully. Hopefully, shit. But, yeah, man. We want to get the fuck up out of Babylon. Alright, so that's that. You know, you should be in the same mindset, not wanting to stay around here. Alright, and just get out. Alright, when the Lord comes as quick as we can, and hoping the Lord comes quick. So, close out there, right? Lord willing, the lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makakwadash. I want to say shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing, shalom.